once again. Today we are taking the same chapter which we left in between, the human digestive system, and this is the second part. First part we have already done it, and here in this video today we are going to learn about small and large intestine, rectum and anus, some digestive glands, that is salivary glands, liver and pancreas. We will be studying about all this in detail. Before we start that, let us do the recapitulation, what we did. Some of you must have forgotten also. So, we did stages of nutrition in human beings. And what were the stages? There were 5 stages: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Okay, so these are the 5 stages which takes place when the food is digested in your body. Starting with taking enough food, then digestion, then absorption, then utilization, that is assimilation, and egestion, whatever is not required by the body, that is removed by the body. Okay. Then we also studied about alimentary canal and digestive glands. So this is it. Some already we have done it, like salivary glands, mouth, inside that set of teeth, esophagus or the food pipe, before that pharynx, and then stomach. That was the last thing we did in the previous video. So we have already discussed mouth, pharynx, esophagus and stomach. So after that, stomach, the alimentary canal, it leads to small intestine. So from there we will be starting in this video. So small intestine. Now let us learn about this. The small intestine or small bowel is the part of the digestive tract which lies between the stomach and the large intestine. Already I have drawn the diagram of digestive system, so you know about it. So this colored portion which you see here, yellow, blue and purple, so this is small intestine. Beside that you can see the presence of large intestine, and this is stomach. So let us see the parts of small intestine. It is the main site where most of the digestion of the food and absorption of nutrients and minerals from the food take place. It's a very important part when you are talking about digestion of food. So digestion takes place here in small intestine. The small intestine has 3 distinct parts. 3 distinct parts. What is that? Duodenum, jejunum and ileum. Let's see that. So these are the 3 main parts. Duodenum, that is the anterior part. This one, the curved one which you see, yellow one, this is duodenum. Okay, this is the first part or the anterior part, we call it duodenum. Then comes the middle part, this is jejunum. This blue color, this is jejunum. And the last part or the posterior part is ileum. This purple one is ileum. So you can say that small intestine is divided into 3 distinct parts: duodenum, anterior, middle part, jejunum, and posterior part, ileum. Duodenum receives bile and pancreatic juice through the pancreas. So it is this place where food is treated with bile juice, which is a kind of digestive juice, and also the pancreatic juice, which is secreted by the pancreas. Okay, so very important organ of digestive system, the small intestine, where it receives many kinds of juices, digestive juices, which has enzymes in it, and the enzymes act on the different nutrients of the food and break it down into simpler absorbable form. Still we are in small intestine only. The average length of the small intestine in adult is 7 meters All of you must have seen your classrooms, must have forgotten. Maybe the length of that could be 7 meters. You can compare to that. 7 meters and approximately 2.5 to 3 centimeter in diameter. This much, okay, in centimeter. The inner lining of the intestinal wall has numerous finger-like projections. Okay, now look at this diagram here. This is the inner wall of small intestine. I have written it. Inner wall of small intestine. So here you find finger-like projections. We call it villi. Singular is villus. Okay. And what it does? It helps in absorption. Okay. And it also increases the surface area so that it can absorb more. These projections help to increase the surface area for the absorption of food. When the food is already digested in the small intestine, whatever is required, it is taken by the body. How? Through this villi. Okay? Food is absorbed and it is digested. Food is absorbed and it is given to the blood. It is mixed with the blood. Thus, villi enable maximum absorption of digested food particles. Now I will show you the enlarged picture of villi, one villus. So this is the one finger-like projection. Here so many are there, numerous villi are there. Now here only one is given. So inside this you can see network of blood capillary, and these are the epithelial cells. When you go to the higher classes, you will come to know about it. So this is the one. From everywhere food is absorbed in this. And that is how the surface area is increased. Just imagine if it is this much only, the inner wall. So only this surface was there for the absorption. Now it can absorb from everywhere. And that is how it is written here. The surface area of the absorption is increased because of the finger-like projections called villi. Now, when everything is done, food is digested, the digested food is already absorbed by the blood through the villi, then the rest of the things comes to the large intestine. It is comparatively shorter than small intestine. The large intestine, known as large bowel, it is the last part of the digestive system. Unlike the small intestine, the large intestine does not have any role in absorption of food. Here food is not absorbed, but water which is necessary by the body, that is absorbed by the large intestine and is mainly involved in the absorption of water from the undigested food. So whatever is left over, that is undigested, not required by the body. Yet water is there which is useful for the body, that is again absorbed by the large intestine. In the colon, the most of the water is absorbed and the remaining waste material is stored as feces. So once the water is absorbed by the large intestine, the walls of large intestine, what is remaining there that is not required by the body, waste product, it is called feces. Okay, this is the structure of large intestine. Each day about 1.5 liter of water arrives in the colon. Colon is a part of large intestine. Structurally, the large intestine is 1.5 to 1.8 meter long. Small intestine was 7 meters long, but it is only 1.5, 1.5 to 1.8, maybe this much. Okay, so that is the length of the large intestine, and approximately 6.5. Small intestine was 2.5 only, but it is 6.5 centimeter wide. It is divided into three main parts. So here you can see what are the three main parts: cecum, colon, and rectum. So here you can see this one is called cecum, the whole portion is colon, and this is rectum. Rectum is the one where the undigested food or the feces is stored temporarily in this, and time regular interval it comes out through the anus. So this is the part cecum which is joined by the small intestine. So small intestine leads to large intestine and gives all the feces to large intestine. Now I told you this whole thing is colon. When you go to the higher classes, you will come to know this is called ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid colon. Okay, there is a curve. That is why it is called sigmoid colon. For you, it is necessary to know only this: cecum, colon, and rectum. These are the main parts of large intestine. The posterior end of the small intestine, the ileum, directly opens into the cecum. As I told you, this is the portion of the small intestine which joins the large intestine or leads to large intestine, which is the first part of the large bowel. The cecum then leads to the colon that appears around the folds of the small intestine. Finally, the colon leads to the rectum, which is the last part of the large intestine. Cecum, colon, and this undigested food. Ultimately, it reaches to the rectum. This is the portion which we call rectum, the last portion of the large intestine. The rectum opens outside through the anus. So this is the anal canal and this is the anus, through which the feces comes out through your body at regular intervals. If it remains inside your body, it is very, very harmful, poisonous. That is why it has to come out of the body. So through anus, it comes out. Now we will be learning about digestive glands. The first is salivary glands, which is there in our mouth. Other day I told you there are three. There are three pairs of salivary glands. These are parotid. Here you can see parotid. Parotid glands which are found beneath each ear. So below the ear, this side, you will have the parotid gland. So one pair of salivary gland, which is also called parotid gland, is present beneath the ear. Then comes submandibular gland, that is present at the floor of the mouth. This is the one here, submandibular gland. This is also a kind of salivary gland only. And the last one is sublingual gland, which lie under the tongue. Below your tongue, you will find this sublingual gland below the tongue. The function of this salivary gland is to produce saliva. Okay, whenever we eat something, the food get mixed with this saliva. Saliva contains an enzyme which is called ptyalin. So that you should remember. It's written here. Salivary gland secretes saliva which contains ptyalin. P is silent. Ptyalin. It is an enzyme which helps in the digestion of food. This enzyme takes part in the chemical digestion of carbohydrates. So starch is digested because of this enzyme, that is ptyalin. It acts on the starch portion of the food and converts it into maltose. So starch is converted into maltose. It also moistens the food and makes it soft so that it can easily be swallowed. When you take bread or something, biscuit, which is quite dry, once it is mixed with the saliva, it is very easy to swallow. Why? Because it is mixed with the saliva. So that is also done with the help of saliva. Next digestive gland we have is liver. Liver is also the largest organ of our body, or largest gland of the body. Here you can see. Liver is the largest gland of the body. Where it lies on the right side below the chest region, here. It is reddish brown in color. This is the one. and rubbery in touch. It is protected inside by the rib cage. So this is the rib cage which protects the liver. It is also a very important organ. Liver secretes bile or bile juice, you can say. It's a greenish yellow colored fluid which gets stored in the gallbladder. So always remember, it is the liver which secretes bile, produces bile, but it is stored in the gallbladder. This is the gallbladder, okay? So this is the liver, very big organ, very big gland. You can say largest also. It is associated with the small intestine. Bile is transferred to the anterior end of the small intestine, the duodenum. Earlier we studied that in duodenum only bile and pancreatic juice is added to the food. So that's how here you can see in the duodenum the bile is added to the food. The bile is involved in the breakdown of fats. So whatever we eat, that also contains fats. And digestion of fats takes place because of this bile. The fats and the oil are broken down into tiny droplets, okay, to ease their digestion. This is called emulsification of fats. Emulsification of fats. It may look very big word, emulsification of fats. This is nothing. Digestion of fats. When the fat is broken down into smaller molecules, that is called emulsification of fats. The bile contains sodium bicarbonate that neutralizes acid formed in the stomach. So that is also one of the functions of bile juice. The last and the third one here is pancreas. It's a gland associated with small intestine. It is white in color and lies behind the stomach. It secretes pancreatic juice which are poured into small intestine. So here you can see this is the colored one. Though it is white in color, you will not be able to see. That is why I have put this diagram. So this is pancreas, a leaf-like structure. So it is near the duodenum, below the stomach. It secretes pancreatic juice which is poured into small intestine along with bile. Now this the pancreatic juice contains three enzymes: amylase, trypsin and lipase. So pancreatic juice contains three enzymes. For you, this you have to remember. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice which has got three enzymes: amylase, trypsin and lipase. And all these three help in digestion of food. Amylase is a starch digesting enzyme. Trypsin is protein digestive enzyme and lipase is fat digesting enzyme. What they do? They break down the starch into glucose, protein into amino acids and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. When you come to class 7 and 8, you will study about all these things in details with the chemical formulas. Okay? So very important. Anyway, for you, only you have to remember pancreas. It's a digestive gland which secretes pancreatic juice which contains three enzymes, that is amylase, trypsin and lipase. Okay? Now there is a piece of information for you. William Beaumont, when you look at your book, it's taken from the book only, very clear. So when you watch this video, refer your book also. I know that it may not be very clear with this camera and digital board, but when you refer your book, it will be very easy for you. So he was a surgeon in US Army. He is known as father of gastric physiology. What he did, why he became famous? He treated a person who was shot with a bullet. He was shot with a bullet. And what happened because of that? The bullet made an opening in his stomach. Okay? And Beaumont extracted samples of gastric juices from the stomach. So he was the first one who removed this gastric juices from the stomach and did some experiments and told many things about this digestive process in human beings. So this is William Beaumont, okay, the one who did all these things by extracting the gastric juice from a person who was shot by a bullet. He cured him, in fact. Okay, so for today this much only. Let's stay home and let's stay safe. Have a good day. Thank you.